welcome to today's lab, which is just basically a fingerprint virtual lab, and there's a lovely picture of lab rice. Now we're here with the clay on the paper. We're going to go ahead and take this water glass to flatten this clay. We're going to get ourselves a fingerprint. I chose the middle finger for very useful purposes. We got the print in the clay. We're going to use this measuring stick to figure out the dimensions of this fingerprint. Now we're going to take this phone and take a picture so that we're able to record the data. And our journal is down here. I couldn't get the whole journal in shot because I only recorded part of my screen that it captured the entirety of this lab that's going on. So after observing the chart, observing the fingerprint a little bit, I had to kind of reconfigure measurements in my head, do some math, and figure out maybe if it's decimal points, maybe if it's full centimeters. But the dimensions that I got was that the length was about 3 centimeters and that the width was probably about 1.5 centimeters. So in my journal right here, the pattern on this fingerprint is a whirl, as we saw, and the height would be 3 and the width would be 1.5. So with that logged in, we're going to continue on. We've recorded our observations. Now what we're going to do, we're going to take this ink. We're going to take each finger off the hand and do a fingerprint of each finger on the hand, which is going to be kind of a long process, so I'll speed through this step. And now that we have each of our fingerprints, we're going to go ahead and take this ruler right here and measure the dimensions of each fingerprint below. And then we're going to take the phone and take a picture of each fingerprint and record the data about each one of them, including the type of fingerprint, the length, and the width. Now we've taken all of our pictures, I'm going to go ahead and record the data. Now we got all the data in this table, I'm going to go ahead and continue on to the next activity. So with this one, we're going to go ahead and clean off the soda can so we can record some fingerprints with our materials here. The flashlight, we're going to shine at the oblique angle so that we're able to see the fingerprint to the naked eye. And as you can see, the can is completely clean. Therefore, we're ready to put our entire hand on it so we can get all those fingerprints on it and start analyzing. Here's our powder over here. Or actually, we're going to shine the light once more. There's all of our fingerprints right there. So now we're going to go ahead and take our powder right up here. And we'll take our brush also to dust some powder onto the fingerprints so that they are more visible for us to see. So now that we've dusted our fingerprints with the powder, we're going to go ahead and get our card with the tape on it. And then we're going to go ahead and lay the tape on top of the fingerprints to be able to collect the prints. So now that we've completed this activity, we're going to move on to analyzing a crime scene. For this case, we're going to be analyzing a bedroom. We're going to be looking at multiple places to find fingerprints. We see a fingerprint over here on the laptop, so we're going to go ahead and dust that area for prints. With that, we're going to be presented our toolkit at the very bottom. I selected the flashlight here, but that's not the first step to this experiment. What we're going to do first is put on our gloves so that we don't contaminate anything or add additional prints where needed or not needed. With the flashlight, we've found a fingerprint on the lower right corner of the laptop. We're going to go ahead and take our brush and dust off the fingerprint to make sure it's visible. I had a little glitch happen here, so I had to go back to the flashlight. There's the fingerprint right there. So then after that, we're going to go ahead and take this card with the tape on it to pick up the fingerprint. Then we'll put the ruler up against it and take a picture to be able to record our results. And in this particular journal, we're going to be recording the different locations, the type of ridge patterns, the height, the width, and whether or not the fingerprint is close and resembling to the victim's fingerprint. So I'm going to go ahead and do that for multiple other objects in the room and present the results. So now we've completed our investigation, analyzed multiple objects in the room, and here we have the fingerprints of the victim as well as the fingerprints on each of the objects. And as we can see, it looks like the fingerprints on the alarm clock and the fridge resemble a couple of the victim's fingerprints. So within the journal, I made a few mistakes with whether or not it was the victim's fingerprint. So I've gone back in to change a couple of them and resubmit the results. And here presented are the final results for the investigation. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and see you on the next lab.